Hello everybody, welcome to another Zabbix video. This time I'm talking about templates and a flat template in general. A flat template is like a template object which holds items, triggers, low-level discovery rules, and there are no child templates. It's like not a nested template tree. So that is kind of how we sometimes say, like flat template. I would personally never use or try to not use flat templates because it will always increase the maintenance cost, at least from my point of view. But there is some edge cases, I would say, when you are not creating template for you, but you are creating template for somebody else, and creating a flat template is more elegant to attach a file in the email and send like a single file to a person and tell please link this single template to the server and it will solve your all monitoring problems. So that's the use case why sometimes we would prefer to create like a template without a child templates. One case I want to share a little bit tools or strategy how to better create a flat template, because there is quite a serious problem, and that problem is when we create the primary template tree and we want to kind of prepare the real template. There is a problem with this macro section. The macro will not be inherited to the parent, and let me show what I mean by that. Let's create like a template which will be called super template, and now I will link like Linux by Zabbix agent active, add click add, and now when we I just linked this template. This template holds 26 macro Cs, and if I search like this super template, open it up, it's like not having any macro. If I click the that child template, it's already holding those 26 macro. And most of the times, when we would create this solid flat template, we would use this button, unlink and clear. So let's click it, unlink and clear. Unlink without a clear, update. And now my super template is not having any child templates, but all the items are there. Like all the items are here, triggers, discovery rules, they all are there. But now the triggers might fail because there is no user macro defined at the template level. And this is a thing which most of the times we have like two screens, and we open in one screen one template, open in another screen the one you want to migrate something, and then you manually copy one by one, and it's like ugly because it's like a human work. And so how to improve this migration? And of course we can use the database in the middle to help a little bit with migrating those macros. And all we need to understand is a template object is still it belongs to some sort of ID. It's actually called host ID in the database, but let's call it like ID. And we can kind of migrate those macro from different template to my template, which now is really missing those macro Cs. So the next step would be I would go back to that Linux by Zabbix agent. So this was the template I was originally migrating to my super module. Let's open it, clone, and I will call it migrate, add. And this migrate one is having those 26 macro. And now we can understand what is the ID of this template. We can do that by clicking on items and see here in the URL. So this is the ID. copy, and now visiting the database, we can. There is actually a table inside the database. This is called host macro. It's having the columns host ID, macro, value, and here if I would write select select macro, comma, value from and this table where host ID equals this. So this is the template ID, enter. And I can see like all those built-in macro which comes from the Linux template. And now by knowing this, it's like easy. We can really manipulate with the database call to migrate those fields to not manually copy these 26 things to something else. And all we need to do is like know what is the ID of my super template. Click. So super template, let's click here, like macro, nothing is there, cancel. Let's visit the items, and this one is 38, so 39, like one ID back. And so to migrate the macro, we can use the database query, update, and like what is the table, host macro, set, and host ID equals 38, where host ID equals 39. And so with one database operation, we would migrate those 26 macro to that new template. So the bigger ID is the lower ID is the new template. Because I did first clone that. Enter. And if we go here, click on the super template, now the macro are there. Probably like the next step, like if you want to create this single template bigger, then maybe you would like link the next one, for example, my SQL by Zabbix agent active. Here, actually, let me do the full test. My SQL, and let's delete this one. So database monitoring with the active checks, clone, and I will call it migrate as well, add. And now where is my super template? Super, I would link the next one. Here you can almost search migrate, my SQL, update. So now it gets more items than before, and the next step would be like migrate those user macros, which does not yet exist in the parent template. It exists here. So now we need to visit migrate. This will be probably one ID up. Click. So 40. Yeah, that is correct. And my super template was here, 38. I practically can rerun and run here 40, which was the very latest clone, and the parent template remains the same. Update, and now the migrate template is losing the macro. Here the thing is empty, and my super template is now having full solution how to do my SQL monitoring and Linux monitoring, and I can the last step would be like completely destroy here, unlink, so the items are there. And since the migrate is not used, and it's like a kind of deprecated and damaged object because it's not having macro, then it's our job to delete these objects. Click, enter, and then like if you want to please the client with a single template object, then this would be the direction. So this is now holding the Linux monitoring and my SQL monitoring, and there was no manual work, like no chance of the human mistake of copy and paste, and you don't need like two screens, or you don't need a very wide screen to to have like two different tabs in the web browser. It's I think this is a trick. It's not always like suitable, but when you need to do this task and you start to worry like what is the chance of a typo, then I think this is like a better decision to do so. Also, I would like to advertise the front-end module, SQL Exporter. I made like another video how to enable SQL client inside the front end. So we can do that update operation right from here as well, if you like. I will put the link in the video description how to install this module. So if you don't have the access to the SSH, we can still at the front end layer do this small migration, and maybe let's try just to see if it works. So let's say we need to bundle the Nginx as well. Nginx, enter, and Nginx by HTTP. I will click clone, migrate, and I think this template will be 41. Migrate. Let's check. That is correct. 41. And if I want to bundle this inside that object, I would click here. Link Nginx over here. Migrate. Update. Open again. Unlink. So it will kind of leave the items, triggers, LLD rules there. Unlink. Update. Even more items, but now this template is missing Nginx stuff. And all we need to do is visit this SQL exporter. I can steal this guy from the command line over here, change the ID over here with the 1, and click preview. Click. Nothing did happen, but I suppose that template migrate will not have any macro anymore. Migrate. Click. And yeah, it's empty. And if we check the super template, let's delete this one, by the way. Enter. Super. And now this will have some Nginx stuff, I suppose. If we search Nginx, yes, of course. Again, no manual work. Like we are migrating those macro by manipulating with the database operations. Of course, if we mess up those IDs, that is a disaster. You can suddenly like really damage the instance, but as long as you at least specify 2 different IDs here, not give like emptiness here. If I would hit enter right now, that would be a disaster, but I will not hit the enter. So that's the risk factor, like a trade-off of like doing the manual work, but I think it's still an option to consider to not make any typos. Okay, that is everything for this video. If you find it useful for the sake of administration, if you are the person who actually designs the template for the client, like exchanging the template object over the email, then I think this might be useful. If that's yes, then give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.